The following is a special presentation of ABC Sports.
Welcome to Bradley Bowl in Windsor Locks, Connecticut, 23rd annual visit. Our field of 5, well, it's set, so let's meet them right now. Our 5th seed is trying for his 12th career title. This is his 5th television appearance this year from Jackson, New Jersey, Parker Bohn III. Facing him in the opening match is a 6-time titleist after his first win since '88 from Beaumont, Mark Williams. Match 2 features 8-time champion and winner of this year's stop in Tucson, Bryan Goebel. In our semifinal match, a 38-year-old rookie who televised a 300 game, or the game was, exciting from Chehalis, Washington, C.K. Moore. And our tournament leader won his only title in Erie, Pennsylvania, from San Diego, Dennis Horan, Jr. and Bo. An exciting field.
You bet, Chris. In the opening match, we have the number 3 ranked player in the world going against Mark Williams, who's used to winning the big ones. Parker Bohn III trying to get off the schneid this year. He's 0-4 in the championship round. We're ready to go.
All right. One of the 3 left-handers in today's field will shoot first on the left gleaming lane. Parker Bohn III. Zeroed in early. Mark Williams hails from Beaumont, Texas. He won here in Windsor Locks in 1985. The 10-pin, I mentioned he won in '85. My colleague, Nelson Burton Jr., up until 1976, he was the only champion here at Bradley Bowl because he won in 1974 and '75.
Thank you, Chris. This is the second oldest stop on the PBA Tour, the Showboat being the oldest.
All right. Strike and a spare. Strike for Bohn, who's moved over to the other seat now as Mark Williams will go to the left lane.
Chris, it's almost unbelievable that Mark Williams, as good as he is, hasn't won a tournament since 1988. Last year he won $123,000. He wasn't in the winner's circle. This guy knows how to play.
Shots like that. And now, Parker Bohn with a strike up. He'll be shooting in the second frame. This is our first match. Parker's 43rd television appearance. He's 0-4 this year. Oh, yes. One of the Narragansett scouts came across.
Well, Chris, Parker, as he said, is 0-4, but as he goes up and checks the approach there, he hit his hand so hard his watch came flying off. Here we go now. He's got a watch on his right hand.
That would have made a great commercial.
The old Timex commercials. John Cameron Swayze.
You got it.
Parker got a great break, though, knocking out the 7-pin. Let's see if he can make it 3 in a row. Opening match.
No breaks that time, leaving a 7-pin on the left lane.
Here's a shot. He just gets a little bit light. Watch the action, the 4-pin. The 2nd pin on the left-hand part of your screen just doesn't quite have enough enthusiasm for the 7. Almost gets a little love tap from behind. Parker across lane.
Ranked third in the PBA. High ranking for this 32-year-old. Capacity crowd, in fact, standing room only. Added bleachers and filled the capacity parallel to the championship pair, but away from them. Mark's hooking the shot now, isn't he?
Chris, I think he has as good a versatility as anybody on the tour, right up there with Walter Ray Williams Jr. and the Brian Bosses of the PBA Tour. He can throw straight, he can hook it big, or he can even throw the backup cut shot. So really no chinks in his armor, just a matter of concentrating, being aggressive, and I believe for the right-handers, this is the key lane. This lane hooks a lot more. You really have to give it a lot of room.
Crossing over, and he has left the 3-pin.
As we said, the left-hand lane hooks a little bit more, and you see Mark to the extreme left side of the approach and throws it between the 3rd and 4th arrows, but still doesn't have the speed and give it enough room. This lane, I remember from years and years, Chris, even though they're synthetics, you just got to really trust the ball.
Okay, we have an all-even match here in Windsor Locks. This city in Connecticut named for, you guessed it, the Locks, and that's what one looks like.
Just ask your doctor. Bayer, powerful pain relief, and so much more. There's also aspirin regimen Bayer 81, the first safety-coated low-dose aspirin.
Comfort Inns and Suites have asked me to tell you about their deluxe continental breakfast. They flatter me by suggesting I can make it sound memorable just by saying deluxe continental breakfast. But of course, it's the juice, coffee, cereal, and Danish that make it sound so appealing. And the part that sounds best is it's free. Deluxe continental breakfast. Oh, I'm so good.
Showers and thunderstorms tonight.
You know, a day like today would be perfect to take your kid to McDonald's.
Hello.
Hi, honey.
Hi, Dad.
How about lunch?
Yeah, sounds great.
Introducing the burger with the grown-up taste. McDonald's Arch Deluxe.
As always, here in Windsor Locks, capacity, enthusiastic crowd. They love bowling in the area. In fact, they drive many, many miles to come see live telecast and their favorite bowlers. And that's why Parker Bohn, one of the smooth left-handers.
Chris, and one of the reasons he is so good is he has such little vertical movement with his head on the way to the foul line. Let's take a look at how he sets up and how smooth he is. Reminds me of Earl Anthony or Brian Boss or whatnot. We'll catch him setting on the approach. He wants a shot somewhere around in here. He's going to slide in this area. He's going to slide in this area. But the key to Parker is watch how very little head movement he has as he goes to the foul line. You're going to see his head almost perfectly still all the way through the shot.
And then he gets a 3-7.
Didn't get the lift that time. A little different. Parker's using tape in the front of his thumb hole for the first time ever in a championship round. And he's a little suspect how to get out of the thumb hole. With this 3-7, he needs to get to the right of the 7-pin, slide it, the right of the 3-pin, excuse me, and slide it over into the 7. He can do it.
So it is an open frame for Parker. He's in his 5th telecast this year. His record is 3/3, 1/5. Now, he has 11 championships, Parker does. And he's won 8 of 9 from the top spot. Next Next Saturday, ABC's Professional Bowlers Tour stops in Toledo, Ohio for the second challenge of bowling's Triple Crown. It's an arena final. Savage Hall, University of Toledo. It's the PBA National Championship. So watch at 3 Eastern and Pacific next Saturday here on ABC Sports.
Second jewel in bowling's Triple Crown. Now, Mark Williams, 6th frame, going for 22-pin lead.
Leaves a 10.
This is about as good as I've seen Mark Williams bowl, and by all means is he a good bowler all the time, but he's been so aggressive, so solid. Now watch how he's going to shoot this spare. Very good technique, right across the center, 10-pin, real straight shot. Watch how flat he goes with this. No big hook on this one. Super.
Mark Williams, who has won 2 Tournament of Champions, in 85 and then in 88, his last win.
Parker Bohn messing around with his thumb hole again, Chris. He says going up and down, and that's not uncommon in the springtime of the year. It's sometimes warm in the day, cool at night, and Parker puts a piece of tape in the front of the thumb hole just to get that real good feel. He was a little bit apprehensive about it because he had never used tape in the front before in a championship round. Let's see if he can adjust.
Hung on the channel, finally broke in.
And hung in the thumb hole a little bit, Chris. When you just cannot get that right feel, as all of us bowlers, whether you're pro or league bowler, when you don't have the right feel, you don't get the right lift. Here, Parker just whips it out the door, hangs on the edge, and leaves the 1, 3, 4, 6, 7. Got to get the ball to the right of the 3 head pin. Let the ball take out the 1, 3, 6. The head pin go into the 4, 7 zone.
We haven't seen that leave for a while.
You bet.
So for Parker, devastating. Back-to-back open frames. This in the first game of the Windsor Locks tournament.
6 rounds, 18 games, the first 3 rounds qualifying. Parker qualified 19th and made his 24-game match play count, moving all the way up to 5th spot. Right now he's in jeopardy of being eliminated if he can't throw some strikes.
Good way of bouncing back. 24 pins separate these 2 pros. Yes, it is a great day to be bowling. It's even a great day to be fishing.
I don't need some fancy cologne to tell me I'm a man. I use Skin Bracer. It smells great, but it also cools and tones my skin. Confidence is very sexy. Don't you think?
Original and cooling blue.
By Menon.
What did you eat this weekend?
Couple of burgers Friday night.
A couple of donuts.
2 tacos.
Barbecue ribs. Chocolate cheesecake Saturday night.
Some pancakes for brunch. Gee, that's funny. I should have exploded about an hour ago.
If you kind of ate your way through the weekend, start turning things around tomorrow with Kellogg's Special K cereal. Just 110 calories, not a speck of fat. Yet those delicious, lightly toasted Special K flakes let your taste buds continue to enjoy. Start taking off what you took on this weekend. Make Monday Special K Day.
Get a tough case of athlete's foot, and you're benched. You get that itching, the cracking, the burning. That's when you want a medicine that acts tough. Boom! Tough Actin Tenactin. It cures even tough cases of athlete's foot. Get Tough Actin Tenactin.
Golf's elite meet at Jack's Place for a favorite stop on the PGA Tour. It's one of golf's premier events, the Memorial Tournament, sponsored by Dean Ritter. Next on ABC.
And our first match continues. Greeting to Parker Bohn III and Mark Williams. Williams of Beaumont, Texas. Parker Bohn of Jackson, New Jersey. And during the play, qualifying, preceding, and then match play, Mark was in second place for the first 4 sessions. All right, 11-time champion, Mr. Smiles, is Randy Peterson.
Okay, thanks, Chris. Brian, you're going to be 35 in October. You have 8 titles going for number 9, almost $700,000 in earnings. Any thoughts of possible induction into the PBA Hall of Fame?
Well, I think it'd be great to get there one day, but I really think I need to get to 10 wins at least. I'd like to get as many as you.
Well, I think you'll get there.
Thanks.
Okay.
Wow, just following up on that interview, you have to be 35 years of age to be on the ballot for the PBA Hall of Fame, but it doesn't make any difference how many wins you have. As another bad break by Mark Williams here in the 8th frame. He's had 3 ringing 10s, or he would have almost an insurmountable lead in this match. So be it, he leads by 24.
Mark was one of 4 to have 300 games here this week. The others were Dennis Horan, our tournament leader, Richard Wolff, and Roy Vander Bogart.
Now, Parker can get right in this match. He has a potential 225. Mark Williams only going at a 209 pace. This shot would be really big for going for a win.
Clutch, clutch. Tonight on ABC, Second Noah is back on a new night. It's your second chance to see Second Noah before its second season. Tonight at 8, 7 Central. Then Home Improvement's Richard Garn, Grace Under Fire's Dave Thomas, and Mary Page Keller star in Picture Perfect on Saturday night at the movies, all tonight on ABC.
Parker Bohn, 9th frame, first match, can cut the lead of Mark Williams to just 4 pins if he strikes here.
Par for the course right now.
The solid 10. Watch the 6th pin. It's supposed to take out the pins. Parker just crushes them. 9 pins go by the wayside. The 10 doesn't go. A very kind of comical remark by Parker. That's par for the course.
Parker Bohn III. Now, Mark Williams. He has a spare working shooting in the 9th frame, leading by 15.
Mark Williams just no trouble at all with the right-hand lane. He's left a solid 10 in the first, struck in the 3rd, struck in the 5th, struck in the 7th and 9th. He needs a mark and just 6 pins to win this match. In the 10th frame so far this year, we've had 18 open frames in the 10th in the championship round on the PBA Tour, so by no means, as Parker looks on, is this a gimme. Any kind of mark and 6 pins, it's Williams' match.
After... Okay. Went for a re-rack and didn't hurt him, did it?
Did not, Chris, and I'll tell you what, he's going to be very, very tough to beat. I have never seen anybody come on in the championship round in this particular pair in the last 5 or 6 years and conquered this left-hand lane. Mark Williams had 1 shot he didn't trust, but all the rest have been just dead solid perfect. And he gets a good read from that. That'll even help him more, knowing that he must trust the ball on that lane. Tough to do under pressure.
That gives him a 2-16. And a smile. First time today.
Parker Bohn III, number 3 ranked computer bowler in the world, finishing out. 204 is the best he can do, not enough.
So it'll be Bryan Goebel that will be stepping in.
Believe it or not, only one of them all week, that one.
Parker will be in the 190s.
Pretty much the story of his losses this year, Chris. Just one big mistake somewhere in a match.
194. This ABC Sports presentation of the Professional Bowlers Tour will continue after these messages and a word from our ABC stations.
Germs, they're in your mouth, living in plaque. Even your dentist can't see them. If you want to remove those germs, you've got to remove the plaque. And you can remove more with this. New Mint Sensation Advanced Formula Plaques. A minty cool way to get germs where they live by removing more plaque before you brush. So you get clean, healthy-feeling teeth and gums. Even your dentist can see. Remove plaque and germs with new Mint Sensation Plaques.
You know, I still can't believe we're here so soon after your hip surgery.
Hey, I wouldn't let you down on our anniversary.
Are you overdoing it? How's the pain?
Oh, I feel great. Took some Tylenol. Extra strength.
I'm still surprised the doctor gave you Tylenol after surgery.
For post-surgical pain, Tylenol is recommended the most by doctors.
Oh, where did you learn that?
I think it came with my new hip.
Tylenol, the pain reliever hospitals use most.
Something hot, something new, something colorful is coming for bowlers from Spectrum and the PBA. Spectrum proudly presents the all-new official PBA merchandise by Munsingwear. Call 1-800-PBA-TOUR to order your new PBA Wear and 96 catalog. Featuring this month's special, just $42.95 plus $4 shipping and handling. Operators are standing by. Call Spectrum PBA Wear, 1-800-PBA-TOUR or fax 1-888-PBA-TOUR.
He's a single dad. She's the annoying next-door neighbor. Can these two rivals pretend to be married just to win a contest?
I'll throw in $100,000 cash.
This is my wife, Vicky. Richard Karn and Dave Thomas star. Picture Perfect, ABC Saturday.
Hey, if you like bike riding as much as I do, mark your calendar for the PNC Bank MS Bike Tour. That's July 13th and 14th. And this year, I'm proud to turn over the Team WHTM honorary air pump to my colleague, Rob Dixon.
Thanks, Chuck. I'll use it with pride. The bike tour starts from Elizabethtown College, and you can ride for 1 or 2 days on a figure-8 route. For 50, on up to 175 miles.
175, that's you, Rob.
I don't think so, Chuck. Call this number, and I'll see you there.
Hi, I'm J.C. Smith, and we're having a big grand reopening this Saturday from 9 to 6. If you wish your cable had more, DirecTV is for you. We've got special financing on DirecTV systems, and right now you get 3 months of DirecTV programming free. Hey, Internet users, check out our new Turbo Internet on the DirecTV. Come in Saturday and register to win a new DSS satellite system. See why they call me the king of satellite TV this Saturday at J.C. SMITH-ELECTRONICS. 111 Mulberry Drive, behind Terranetti's Bakery in Mechanicsburg.
Join Dennis Owens for sports tonight on News Center.
The Professional Bowlers Tour on ABC Sports. Brought to you by Fruit of the Loom, maker of really, really comfortable clothes. Tylenol, the pain reliever hospitals use most. And McDonald's, have you had your break today?
All right, that first match, 216 to 194, Mark Williams with 6 strikes. Bo, you won here in 1974 and 75. A lot of memories.
You're right, Chris. It was a good time for me. And, you know, coming up, we have 4 pointers left, 2 righties, 2 lefties. The lefties have never tasted a loss in the championship match, so I think we got a real tough one coming up here with 2 of the great right-handers we have on the tour.
That's right. Mark Williams. Mark Williams and Bryan Goebel. Mark, as you know, is a 6-time champion, twice winning the Tournament of Champions. In fact, his last win was 1988. Hard to believe.
Well, once again, we see Mark Williams drifting high on the left-hand lane. That's been the pattern for years in this bowling center, the left-hand lane hooking more. Very simply, reason is that these are synthetic lanes laid down over the wood lanes, and the old wood lanes have the characteristic of hooking more, and it comes right through the synthetics.
So marking comfortably with that spare, and we get our first look today of Bryan Goebel. Winner in Tucson this year for the 3rd time in that city. Sneaking up to the line. So let's see what he'll do with the 2-4-8-10, Bo.
Wow, tough split. Mark Williams, by the way, is the only man to ever make this split in television. He made it back in Baltimore years ago.
So Bryan gets a terrible baptism in his first game of the day.
Now you take a look at this fellow's style. He's going to drift all the way over here from there. He's going to play a shot around the first arrow, drift left, right, and then throw the hook back. Very deliberate.
No, that's unfair. That shouldn't happen, Bo, to any professional.
You're right, Chris. He was kind of lined up on the right-hand lane, thinking it's going to hook as much as the left, and then he gets a real bad rake here in the second frame. The swishing 710. That's just lack of ball speed. You need a little more speed to make those pins pop out of it.
Cool Bryan Goebel, Shawnee, Kansas. Has to exhale on that. 2 horrible back-to-back splits. And
well, the scores were marginal all week, Chris, and the reason being is that oil would carry down and leave splits like this. Here he has the 210, need to get the ball on the left-hand side of the 2-pin, drive it into the 10. We saw the opposite for a left-hander as Parker Bohn had the 3-7 in his first match.
So now it's a spare and an open frame for Mark Williams, who won the first game 216 to 194 over Parker Bohn. And he goes back to that left lane, and C.K. Moore and Dennis Horan warm up off to our right. That's the pinfall that you're hearing. First strike of this match, third frame for Mark. Using about 2/3 of the approach. Very deliberate start. And now a 2 and sleeper 8.
His body reflects his mind right there. He's a bit confused. He changed balls here in the second frame. He needs to hit this 2-pin dead on, let the ball carry back into the 8. He has had no easy task here in the first 3 frames. 2 tough splits and now a tough spare.
Chopping the 2 off the 8. I can see his wife, Kelly, who's a computer programming for AT&T back in Shawnee.
Wow, she's computing in some strikes or at least some spares here. Is a disastrous start for Bryan Goebel.
Go ahead and say it. Hallelujah. Second match underway.
When I was just a little boy, I asked my mother, what should I be? Shall I be handsome? Shall I be rich? Here's what she said to me. Que sera?
Just because your dreams have been crushed doesn't mean your boys have to be. 100% cotton, cut for comfort. Fruit of the loom. Really, really comfortable underwear.
Showers and thunderstorms tonight.
You know, a day like today would be perfect to take your kid to McDonald's.
Hi, honey.
Hi, Dad.
How about lunch?
Yeah, sounds great.
Introducing the burger with the grown-up taste. McDonald's Arch Deluxe.
We've had a weird and different beginning to our second match here in the Greater Hartford Open. A fabulous bowler, Bryan Goebel, has 3 open frames, then came back. You saw it before we left with a strike. Bo, unusual.
You're right, Chris. And a little bit, the lanes are going through a transition. The oil is carrying down. The ball will draw the oil down the lane as Mark Williams is waiting for a little disturbance on his left. The fan has to get seated as they're down the lanes before he gets started. Right now he leads by 20 pins despite it open, can make it 30.
the king of the karaoke when he's not bowling, Randy Peterson.
Thanks, Chris. I'm here with the 38-year-old rookie. CK, you know, I'm watching the match in progress, and there's a lot of X's and O's. Looks a little more like tic-tac-toe than bowling. Does this change your strategy at all? I mean, are you a little more careful? Try to keep the ball in play a little bit more? The scores are obviously real low.
Well, I don't know if it changes my strategy. The whole idea is just to try to be aggressive, go as best shots as I can, and hopefully the thing will fall. You don't necessarily bowl against them. You just try to bowl against the game, and hopefully good things happen.
Well, best of luck, CK.
Thanks, Randy.
All right, and you'll get to practice that theory very soon.
He'll be coming up in the semifinal. Never has tasted a loss. CK Moore. Now, Bryan Goebel. Can he get it back together?
I know how he feels, having been there.
Well, Chris, but you have a 170 average.
Oh,
you can
yeah,
afford
sure,
those.
sure. I don't care what average. It makes you feel sort of tiny.
Uneasy.
Yeah. And we can chuckle because we know this guy and love him. But goodness. 55 through the fifth.
Let's look on the bright side. He's got a great strike ball. If he strikes out, he can shoot 205, and he would make a match of it.
And the 8 times champion leaves the 10 pin.
Well, we can study his style a little bit as he shoots the 10-pin. He probably takes as an extreme of angle as anybody in professional bowling for the 10-pin. Watch how far left he goes and how much of the left side of the lane he bites off. Almost in the left channel, cross lane, good technique.
Zell comes up with his second mark of the game in the 6th frame. Mark Williams has a double working. He's shooting in the 6th frame. And now it's a 4-7 for Mark.
We call it the fast 8 in professional bowling. It looks like an apparent good hit. The ball is breaking a little too sharply. The 2 just leaps over the top of the 4 and 7 pins.
Now, native of California, Randy Peterson.
Okay, thanks, Chris. Parker, in your match, it looked like you were going to shoot 250. All of a sudden, you have thumb hole trouble. You put the piece of tape in. Then you leave the solid 10 in, which turned out to be the turning point of the match. What happened?
Yeah, I really did. I lost the feel for the ball there, that 3-7 and the 5-count washout, but Brunswick keep making that equipment. I'll get that tape to feel good. I'll be back.
The number 3 ranked player in the world.
Okay. Mark Williams with a strike in the 7th frame. Steve and Sherry Wilson, who make their home in Tamarack, Florida, have adjusted to life on the road the same way many other pro bowlers have. Let's take a look at their home away from home.
Welcome to our motorhome.
This is our bedroom, and of course next to our bedroom, our bathroom.
Our brand new kitchen, our living room and dining area, and of course, our driver.
That won't fill you up and never let you down. Make it a Bud Light.
Dad? Lego my ego. Son.
Morning.
Preakness winner Louis Quatorze and the country's top 3-year-olds take off in the final duel of the Visa Triple Crown Challenge. It's the Belmont Stakes live next Saturday on Wide World.
There's our tournament leader, Dennis Horan, a West Coast professional. And he's had a tremendous week. So has Bryan Goebel, but he's had a very, very unfortunate second game here on our telecast.
The full fingertip grip, a good solid approach, 6 steps, looking for his second strike. Well, nothing good happening for Bryan right now. One of the really great, nice, well-liked guys in the tour, and obviously an excellent talent. He's going to take a simple technique over here for the 4-pin, straight across that part of the lane. He has good technique.
Oh, and body English from all of us.
Well, for the record buffs who watch our telecast year after year, the all-time lowest game ever bowled in a championship round, 129.
No.
Steve Jaros in Lake Zurich a few years back. Bryan needs a few opens to catch that.
Well, on our telecast of how to convert splits.
Well, when the wheels come off, it's hard to run that car around the track with a flat tire, and it's simply that. Is sometimes he gets a good release, sometimes the ball bounces, he's confused on what to do, plus you hyperventilate when stuff like this happens.
Right, for the strike up now in the 7th, Mark Williams, who won his first game over Parker Bohn.
Right now, Mark Williams has to stay in the building. He's got this match won. Look at some sidebar stories. Mark Williams, a potential 245 if he strikes out. He's coming up in the 9th frame. And really, this is really a nice respite for him as he really gets to tinker around with a couple of different shots on this, going in the semifinal match against C.K. Moore on this somewhat difficult pair. Now, on the other side of the coin, his opponent, Bryan Goebel, can say, hey, I'm going to put myself in the record book. All I need is 2 more open frames or even just 1 more big open frame, and I have the all-time record lowest score. Chris, he isn't thinking that, is he?
Knowing Bryan, nope.
Yeah, maybe set a record, though. You know, have some fun.
What the heck? Well, it's a little easier in some of them.
Right now, spare strikes spare, and that's a little presumptuous for Bryan, a good guy at this point. He would have 139. Any more open frames, and he sets the all-time record low score.
Come up.
Now, Chris Schenkel, I have to ask you a question.
Okay.
You've won a lot of awards, and let's say you're standing down there, a proven bowler, he's won 8 titles, the big ones. Would you go for the record score, or you just want to bowl a 130? What would you do?
I'd go for the record score.
Attaboy.
Oh, yeah.
That's
There's no
Hoosier
question.
spirit.
You bet.
Let's see what the shocker does here. Oh! Now he's got to miss this spare. You can't set the record, Bryan, if you make this spare, pal. Well, it can happen to anybody. You tell you about a great athlete. This guy was on the college bowling team at University of Kansas, has a bachelor's degree in English, and lettered in both baseball and basketball at that school. So it's one of those days. Have fun, Bryan. great guy. He will be back.
There it is. That's 138. You know, this week's Winning Never Gets Old bowling tip features Triple Crown winner Billy Hardwork on how to get more ball speed.
And now, ABC Sports Professional Bowlers Tour presents another Winning Never Gets Old bowling tip. Brought to you by Comfort Inns and Suites.
Son of a gun. Billy, this lane is really hooking. And, you know, when I was younger, I would just muscle the ball down there to get more speed. And I know you had a short backswing during your career, and you must have a trick to help me get some ball speed as I get older.
Well, Bo, it's not a trick. All it is just a little thinking. All I did was take my index finger and put it next to my middle finger when I wanted to slow it down. But if I wanted more speed, I spread the finger. This allowed me to keep my same natural swing and add speed that I needed to stay competitive with guys like you.
Hey, I'll give it a try, Bill. Spread that index finger, keep the same arm swing, get a little more speed. Wow, Bill, that worked pretty well. I tell you what, that's great speed. And you know, it can help the seniors also. Spread that index finger, as Billy Hardwick said. You can keep your ball speed up and improve your scores. And remember, winning never gets old.
This ABC Professional Bowlers Tour Winning Never Gets Old bowling tip has been brought to you by Comfort Inns and Suites.
There are gut balls and gutter balls. And sometimes, the trophy falls. But no matter what, you'll love the bowlers who have it all on ABC Sports Home Video, Bowling the Perfect Game. Call 1-800-4ABC-VCR to order bowling's colorful history. Narrated by Chris Schenkel and Nelson Burton Jr. This collector's home video can be yours to enjoy for only $14.98 plus $3.95 shipping. That's 1-800-4ABC-VCR.
Comfort Inn presents Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is. Today starring Dennis Horan. Hey, Dennis, at Comfort Inns and Suites, we guarantee to make everything right or you don't pay. That's great. Now, can you guarantee you'll get every rebound, attract every beautiful woman, and always be the coolest looking guy or else play for free?
Nah, I can't get every rebound.
Oh, then you can't play for us. Who's got a guarantee as good as ours? We'll keep looking.
How much closer are our precision heads? Our innovative lift and cut system? How much better is the latest Norelco? In a word, we've never brought you closer. The Norelco Razor, our closest shave ever.
My head's killing me.
Here.
Introducing Actron. Unlike Tylenol and Advil, Actron has ketoprofen, now available without a prescription. So powerful, this is all the Actron you need. Thanks, I feel better. For big pain relief, all you need is a little Actron.
Hey, you're a guy, and guys want to be cool. Hang out with other guys who are cool. But even cool guys sweat. 40% more than women, in fact. So how you gonna stay cool? With something new. Speed Stick Gel. Proven to keep you drier than any other gel. So you feel your coolest. It's the best gel protection. And guys, no matter how cool they are, need all the protection they can get. New Speed Stick Gel. It's just for the guys. Amen.
Mark Williams now has won 2 matches, 13 strikes in his last shot at 220. Bryan Goebel's 138 with 5 open frames. In steps C.K. Moore.
And a look at the top 24 that finished here today. Started the field with 144 players. 212 average to make the top 24. The man just missing, Paige's husband, Walter Ray Williams Jr. made a late charge. Quaker State champion Steve Hoskins. Steve Jaros did a little practicing with him last week. He held the record for the lowest game of all time, 129. Bob Benoit, Jason Couch up there. The Golden Boy in 15th place, Don Moser. Dave Watka on a weightlifting program looking good. Curtis Odom, one of your favorite guys, Chris, Mike Edwards. Tournament of Champions champion, former George Brannon III. Ryan Smith bowling well, and Ed Richardson round out the top 24.
And from Windsor Locks, Connecticut, we move to Toledo. It's arena bowling. Savage Hall, University of Toledo. the PBA National Championship. 2 weeks from today, another arena event at Allen Park, Michigan, the Greater Detroit Open at our regular starting time of 3 o'clock Eastern. Then a week after that, it's off to Wichita for our final stop.
The Kingpin in Wichita. Looking forward to that, Chris. Now here's a man who has never tasted defeat in the championship round. He won the first time he was on, defeating 4 opponents. And Chris has never had a 200 game bowled against him in a championship round. So let's see what happens if CK is pushed a little bit. Here we go. Semifinal match.
CK is 6'4", 210-pound, former Presbyterian minister, or still, I shouldn't say former. He's still in the ministry, but he's out bowling. And Mark Williams, 2 victories under his belt, opens with a strike, so we are all even.
Well, the righties and lefties are surely playing 2 different angles to the pocket on this championship pair. Mark Williams playing the big rainbow shot, as you said, Chris, and we'll see CK Moore almost a straight shot right down the left-hand channel. Mark extreme left on the approach, between the 3rd and 4th arrows, out to about the 2nd board, and hooking it back.
Very nice. A double for Mark Williams. All right, CK Moore, a 300 game and a victory in Austin, Texas. Look at the intensity. This is the last shot for the 12th. There it is, though, and now Joy.
And here's live action. That 300 was in the semifinal game, and this is the semifinal game, some 2 months later. All right, let's look at CK Moore. Real tall, strong guy, as you said, Chris, but one of the keys to him is his good, solid, straight arm swing. He brings it back, he uses his strength, comes right from the top, not much wrist cup, and he's playing extreme outside line right into the pocket.
Named after his grandfather, Charles Kenneth, or some say it could be C.K. Clark Kent.
That's when he's striking.
Yeah.
Perfect through 2.
Powerful and beautiful. 3 in a row. Now Williams, double up. Can he stay even? A 4.
Kind of an interesting difference in styles, Chris. The big hook of Mark Williams, the straight shot of C.K. Moore. And then we saw a match where everybody struggled there, the second match. Here we see Mark Williams somewhat learned by his match against Bryan Goebel, has made some adjustments. And now the lefty going down the left side looks a lot smoother than the right side. Williams, like a lot of pro bowlers, was once again a good baseball player. We remember Earl Anthony had a tryout with the Baltimore Orioles. John Gant, who was in our championship round last week, had a tryout with Cincinnati. Mark Williams, also a pitcher in high school.
Reason to smile. It dropped. We're in Windsor Locks, where families of all kinds are getting together this weekend. Even a Mallard mom.
Oh no, it's back. Prescription strength Desonex knows how bad athlete's foot can get. Knows about the burning, the itching, the cracking.
It can feel like a soldering iron between your toes.
Now is the time to hit it with strong medicine.
Before it gets really bad.
Prescription strength Desonex has the same medicine that doctors prescribe again and again. Because nothing you can buy works better to cure athlete's foot.
Nothing.
Prescription strength Desonex. Because prescription strength is strong medicine.
A champ without a hand.
You wouldn't happen to have a Phillips head screwdriver, would you?
A rookie without a clue.
Whoa!
And a woman without a bra.
Keep your hands off me!
From the creators of Dumb and Dumber.
I need you now more than ever I need you.
Woody Harrelson, Randy Quaid, Vanessa Angel, and Big Bad Bill Murray. Kingpin, rated PG-13.
Will the Americans get their kicks, or will Irish eyes be smiling? The U.S. national soccer team takes the field against Ireland next Sunday on ABC Sports.
A while ago, a spinning pin, Nelson.
Well, Chris, I think the regulations say at least 3 seconds from the time the ball hits the head pin till the machinery can touch a pin, and obviously Mark Williams had more than that, as the 9 pin's the last one to go out. And you know who was leading the cheers besides Mark Williams was his opponent, C.K. Moore, who is perfect through 3. This is the semifinal game. That's Mark Williams sitting on the bench. C.K. Moore up, 11-pin lead, can make it 21.
All right. Let's go to Randy Peterson.
All right, Dennis Horan, 1 victory. This would give you 2 titles and a berth into the Brunswick World Tournament of Champions. What will that mean to you and your family?
Well, you know, it would mean a lot, Randy. My wife Tara and I have a 9-month-old daughter, Courtney, who I'd like to say hi to, and you know, it would be special for us knowing that I have at least 1 guaranteed check next year. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, best of luck, Dennis.
Oh, a guaranteed check. All the people in the Tournament of Champions, the 64, are guaranteed money in the Brunswick Tournament of Champions, which was won this year by Dave Dientremont.
7-pin on the left lane, and applause from the sold-out crowd here at Bradley Bowl. And there's Rebecca, CK's wife. 3 bachelor degrees, speaks 4 languages.
Flew all night from Washington to see her husband bowl, who is perfect through 4, and then left a 7-pin.
But he continues marking. Rebecca Moore. Now Mark Williams. That's the lead to 10. Tomorrow at 1 Eastern, 3 Pacific on ABC Sports, we head to the Milwaukee Mile for the Miller 200. Last year it was a photo finish as Paul Tracy took the checkered flag. Don't miss this year's race tomorrow right here on ABC Sports.
Mark Williams has a chance to do something to C.K. Moore that nobody has done so far, is put the squeezes on him. This match would be all even. And he has done it. Chris, C.K. is unpredictable. We haven't seen enough of him out here on the tour. He has a very simple line. It's straight down here. He's starting here, sliding here. He's got a good solid setup through here and a good straight swing. So he's going with that extreme outside line.
Crossing over and leaving the 4-pin.
Just a pull by C.K. Gets to the line a little quickly, pulls up at the foul line. Lucky avoid the 4-6 split, ends up with a 4-pin. A very easy spare. He'll make this, but he will trail by 1 through 6.
Okay. Something that hurt on that first shot, he had a distraction, and would give me the yips too.
Well, unfortunately, Chris, when a distraction happens behind a player in the PBA, you cannot call interference.
Right.
The only interference that you and I have ever seen was in the big score shot by Bob Warren Jr., where a reporter jumped up and he was given another shot on a 10-pin hit. C.K. Moore doesn't have that luxury, and right now he trails by 1 through 6.
he will have to try and cover the 3 and the sleeper 9 on the left lane. One of 2 ministers at the Chehalis Westminster Presbyterian Church, and most of his years were spent working with youth groups. Nothing more important.
They're hoping that CK can convert this 3-9 and gets a big check and do a little tithing come Sunday, huh, Chris?
Mm-hmm. All right, CK keeps marking. He's battling Mark Williams. We'll be back.
Lego my ego, son.
Morning.
Germs. They're in your mouth, living in plaque. Even your dentist can't see them. If you want to remove those germs, you've got to remove the plaque. And you can remove more with this. New Mint Sensation Advanced Formula Plaque. A minty, cool way to get germs where they live by removing more plaque before you brush. So you get clean, healthy-feeling teeth and gums. Even your dentist can see. Remove plaque and germs with new Mint Sensation Plaque.
From Monte Carlo, Michael Jackson, Celine Dion, Hootie and the Blowfish, Seal, plus Diana Ross performs her greatest hits, the 1996 World Music Awards, ABC Monday.
In Windsor Locks, Connecticut, scene of action today, 11th stop on the professional bowling tour, on a tour of 14 cities. Mark Williams, 3 in a row. The 8 went out, leaving the 2.
You're right, Chris, and it's so important that the 8 pin comes out. It makes it a much easier spare. As we saw earlier, Bryan Goebel missed this spare on this lane. As the ball goes wide, doesn't quite get back to the pocket. A little love tap on the 8. What a difference. With the spare, would lead by 2. Both players will have a spare working in the 7th frame going into the 8th. With 3 frames left, it's anybody's match.
You know, next Saturday, it's the 3rd and final jewel in the Visa Triple Crown Challenge. Join us for the 128th running of the Belmont Stakes. That's live next Saturday on ABC's Wide World of Sports at 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific. And a blanket of white carnations go to the winner and a lot of money, Bo.
And this match here involves a lot of money, Chris. Semifinal.
The song they play at that event, oh, like my old Kentucky home in Louisville, you know?
Tell me about it. No, sir, I do not.
Sidewalks of New York.
Woo.
Can waltz along with that one.
C.K. Moore has 3 spares in a row, looks over the scoreboard, realizes he is trailing by 1.
Real battle. Now C.K. is back up. Just a fabulous guy, an interesting guy. In fact, in December, C.K. married his piano teacher's daughter. That's Rebecca that you saw a little earlier.
See the angle of Moore. Extreme outside line. Terrific angle to the 1-2 pocket. Got to keep it in play. Ninth frame, the protection frame in this case right here, because if CK strikes, no matter what Mark Williams does in the 9th and 10th, he cannot shut out C.K. Moore. He can always determine his own destiny. If he strikes here in the 9th, he trails by 1, can retake the lead. Not that. All he can do here is pitch and hope. CK will go over here for the 4-pin, hopefully to bounce it out into the 6. Not much chance. Well, Mark Williams can put a little nail in the coffin right here. CK Moore, best he can go 224. Williams going at a 227 pace. Solid 2 frames here. Williams will go in the title match.
Leaving a 3-6-10 on the right lane.
Williams with what looks like a good shot off his hand. Doesn't go quite as wide as the previous shot. Drifts high. Tough spare. My, oh my, Chris. CK Moore, from sitting on the bench, now takes the lead. There's only a 1-pin differential as a major mistake glaring by Mark Williams. Here's the situation. Moore has a 1-pin lead. Both players have open frames. It's the 10th semifinal match. It's a 1-frame tournament for these guys.
The uncertainty of this game on this level rearing its ugly head very graphically today, though, especially.
You're right, Chris, and we've had a little tougher lane condition the last 3 weeks in the championship round. In fact, Danny Wiseman last week was the only player under the age of 30 to make the championship round since the Brunswick Tournament were champions. So it means we have tougher conditions, more experience, and you need to make the spares.
Split broken up, but the 4-7.
He'll make the spare and finish with 213. Will make CK Moore strike spare to win the match. See the shot of Williams, a little high.
CK led until the final game last night when he lost 213 to 192 to Dennis Horan. So here he again is faced with a pressure shot. Go.
Strike spare winner, spare strike winner. Happens to get spare 9. We would have a tie match.
Very cool.
Strike or spare, Chris, he wins.
Okay. Great addition to the PBA Tour. CK Moore and, of course, his wife. They make a very attractive couple.
I agree, Chris. The man is 5-0. He still has one more game against a fellow who has never lost in a title match. Dennis Horan won his only title as a tournament leader. And CK can finish with 224. It'll be lefty against lefty.
Okay, 223, 213 as this ABC Sports presentation of the Professional Bowlers Tour will continue after these messages and a word from our ABC station.
Excuse me. Mom, Daddy, you are such wonderful parents. There aren't enough choirs to sing your praises, not enough stone to carve a worthy monument. So let's go to McDonald's to celebrate you.
You really want to get to McDonald's today? 2 words.
Arch Deluxe? Care to join us?
Introducing the burger with the grown-up taste. McDonald's Arch Deluxe.
Che bella cosa la dolce vita, volare la noche caliente en su esplendor suave.
less America. 100% cotton, cut for comfort, Fruit of the Loom. Really, really comfortable underwear.
Sunday, John Ritter.
Why are you doing this to us?
Henry Winkler.
You listen to me!
His wife is having an affair with a man who loves her madly.
I'll kill you before I let you go.
The dramatic thriller, The Only Way Out, ABC Sunday.
Tired of the same reruns on TV? Then get out and have some real fun at Red Crown Bowling Center. There's fun for the entire family, like Rock and Bowl every Friday and Saturday night. Tuesday night, Rental Lane from 6:30 to 9. The Bowl and Brew Lounge for Mom and Dad. A great snack bar for the kids. The fun never stops. Don't forget to ask about their special senior citizens rates. Red Crown Bowling Center, where there's a good time every day of the week. Located at 2471 Sycamore Street, right behind Fluorescent Supply on Paxton Street.
Hi everyone, I'm Mary Bubala.
And I'm Scott Schaefer. Coming up this week on the Midday Edition, sport utility vehicles are selling like crazy, but Consumer Reports says don't be fooled by models that look like the real thing. We'll have details.
And if a used car is more your style, find out which ones have serious transmission problems. Consumer Reports shows you which cars to steer clear of this week.
Our Midday Mechanic has tips on keeping your car on the road.
The doctor is in, plus our pet of the week.
Join us.
Could household appliances ignite and kill you? Watch Inside Edition.
I'm Brent Musburger at the Memorial Tournament, sponsored by Dean Witter, where the story of the third round has been Davis Love III. On the par 5 15th, Love stood at 6 under par. After reaching the par 5 and 2, he missed his eagle putt from there, but he did birdie the hole, wound up with a 65. John Houston firing a 61 yesterday. The third round is next on ABC.
And now we have advanced to our final match, which features C.K. Moore going against the tournament leader, Dennis Horan. C.K. Moore with 7 strikes in his victory over Mark Williams, Bo.
Well, we'll have 2 left-handed in the championship round. Neither one of them has tasted a loss, and we'll see what happens, Chris.
All right. They met in the final game last night of match play. 14-10 Horan, his match play record. 16-8 for the man at whom we're looking, C.K. Moore of Chehalis, Washington. Born in Louisiana, moved around a lot in an Army family.
Interesting man coming up right now, Chris. Very confident in his bowling game, and he has made himself a good bowler. From San Diego, 30 years old, just keeps working at his game, working at his game.
And now he has to work at converting a 6-7 split.
So tough to come off those sidelines, sitting there for an hour, all of a sudden the championship lights, championship pair, and he needs to get the ball over near the 6-pin here and slide it over into the 7. A lot tougher for a left-handed bowler. A right-hander can slip his ball in behind it with a hook. A lefty's going away from it.
So the tournament leader has an open frame. Dennis won the Split Fire Open in our first modern-day arena finals.
Chris, as you see him sliding by the 6-pin, if he was a right-hander, that ball would have been breaking the other way. He'd had a chance to make it. That's why it's so hard to make a split going away from it. Now look at how he's playing. Look at how he spreads his feet. Oh, Mike Durbin's the only other player I've ever seen do that. And he's playing right around the first arrow. Now normally a player won't split his feet like that, Chris, because he can't rock back and get a rhythm. It's kind of like the little push away you have in a golf. You set up your timing. Now here you see him throwing the ball wide, leaving a 3-5 spare. And yet Horan, when I asked him about splitting his feet like that, said he just saw another person doing it and helps him square his shoulders to the line.
And back-to-back opens. And a little earlier, Bryan Goebel had 5 opens when he shot a 138. Now Dennis Horan has started with 2. C.K. Moore, strike up, second frame.
The ever-changing lane condition here bites C.K. Moore. Now, once again, another spare that's easier for a right-hander. A right-hander be coming this way, and left-handers be going the opposite direction. Needs to slide the 6 into the 8.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. A 6-8 conversion.
Boy, what a terrific shot. He is only the 9th split to be made on the PBA Tour in the championship round this year. It's only 11% conversion rate. CK, at the most opportune time, marks in the second, leads in the championship match by 23 over our tournament leader, Dennis Horan.
And the Presbyterian minister comes right back with a strike.
Now you see how he spreads his feet. Mike Durbin is the only player who won 3 tournaments of champions to split his feet like that. Now see how he spreads one out here, one out here. Most people just set one foot in front of the other up in this area and one back. Now what he does is just does it for squaring his shoulders and squaring his body.
So now he needs to cover the 7-pin for his first mark of this championship match of the Greater Hartford Open. Next week, Savage Hall Arena Bowling, University of Toledo for the PBA Championship.
Here's a man who worked in his dad's automotive repair shop before he came out on tour and was a league bowler. He bowled with his wife and brother-in-law in a league. So it was a handicap league, and he got his brains beat in. But right now he's our tournament leader, and he's struggling a little bit by 23 pins title match, looking for his second championship. Dennis Horan.
Dennis was 5th last year at the PBA Nationals in Toledo.
You can feel it start to burn all through here. All you can think about is getting rid of it quickly. I even tried Tagamet HB, but it didn't work fast enough. Finally, I asked my doctor, and my doctor said Mylanta. Fast-acting Mylanta was made to work fast where heartburn hurts most. Soothing, on contact, all through here. It's so fast. It's nothing like Tagamet HB. My doctor said Mylanta.
A tough case of athlete's foot can stop you in your tracks. You get that itching, the cracking, the burning. That's when you want a medicine and back stuff. Boom! Tough-acting Tinactin. It cures even tough cases of athlete's foot. Get tough-acting Tinactin.
I don't need some fancy cologne to tell me I'm a man. I use Skin Bracer. It smells great, but it also cools and tones my skin. Confidence is very sexy. Don't you think?
Original and cooling blue.
By Menon.
The U.S. women's national team has the talent, the desire, and the determination to bring home the gold this summer. They tune up against Russia June 15th on ABC Sports. The Professional Bowlers Tour on ABC Sports. Brought to you by Quaker State, the motor oil that exceeds the highest standards for engine protection. Bud Light, official sponsor of the 1996 U.S. Olympic team. Make it a Bud Light. And Kellogg's, with good taste, nutrition, and value. The best you each morning from Kellogg's.
Title match underway. The 7-pin now is the target for C.K. Moore. spare, and he marked his spare in the fourth as well, covering a 4-pin.
Earlier in the week, Dennis Horan had the highest average among the 5 players in the championship round on 27 and 28 here. He averaged 225, had a perfect game this week, and he still has a chance to get back in the match. Struggled the first 2 frames, has been zeroed the last 2. It's the 5th.
So the left-hander doubles and cuts C.K. Moore's lead to 12.
Dennis Horan off with a tremendous start in this tournament, averaging 230 average for the first 18 games. That's the qualifying. Then the 24 match play. He was fronted a little bit by Steve Hoskins on Friday morning, but then Friday night he took command, and now he's the tournament leader, and if he strikes here, he'll only trail his opponent, C.K. Moore, by 2 pins, 6th frame.
That was on the left lane, a 6-pin.
Just a little deceleration here, a tendency to aim a little bit. The ball drifts high on this volatile lane condition, breaks up the 8-pin, but leaves the 6. Mark here, he'll trail by 13. C.K. Moore will be coming up.
Okay, and C.K. will be shooting in the 6th frame of this championship game with a 13-pin lead and a spare up. Great crowd here watching the Greater Hartford Open. A little bit of a confidence builder because he hadn't had a strike since the 3rd frame.
Going in this tournament, C.K. Moore was ranked 79th on the tour, and that's based on, rankings are based on 50 tournaments, and such factors as average, money won, finishes, and the majors, like next week's tournament, are weighted a little heavier, so C.K. will surely advance in the PBA rankings. Takes a re-rack on the left-hand lane, leads by 13, championship game.
Wife Rebecca manages the International Student Services program at Edmonds Washington College. Leads by 23. Rebecca also speaks English, French, Japanese, and Russian.
Well, C.K. with that double there put the squeezes on Dennis Horan. Dennis cannot leave anything left in the bag. See him spread his feet, slide in this area. He'll be targeting in this area. Pretty even approach, pretty solid shot.
6-pin.
Now, what do you do? Championship match near the end, and you've left 2 6-pins in a row. As you see the angle and the speed of Dennis Horan looks solid there. Chris, what I would do in this situation, a little tricky lane condition, just go with more speed. Forget moving your feet. Forget adjusting this and that. You got to go to the whip right now.
Because that was a spare in the 7th frame. Championship match. Big field next week in Toledo, Bo.
Imperial Lanes, get to see Mike Duquette. That tournament won many times by a southpaw, Earl Anthony, the great one. I'm sure watching today's action. With strikes like that. So, C.K. Moore, the man with the Austin 300 and the championship. His first and only title, 38-year-old rookie as he is called. And now with a double up, needs to be very professional here in the 8th frame. Little disgust. Horse before the cart there, Chris. He just couldn't wait on the shot, wait on it. You could just see him jump at that shot. Goes high, and now he has left himself a 2-7-8 split. needs to get the ball in there, have it swing in and carry out the 8-pin. Easier for a left-hander coming in at that angle, but so important in the match at this point, 8th frame. It'll be anybody's match if he can't make this split. CK doesn't throw a very big hook, and he pays a penalty here. You see the deflection of the ball. 16-pound ball hits the 2, hits the 7, does not deflect back in the 8. That's one type of split that a hook favors you. As CK looks to the side, he leads by 9, but you see Dennis Horan has that strike up in the 8th. He knows that it's anybody's match right now. Less than a mark differential, 2 frames left.
Heavy ball, big frame. Big fellow shooting it. Now, Dennis Horan. Strike up in the 8th, shooting in the 9th. A lot of deep breaths, exhaling, setting himself carefully up. He's on the right lane for this stroke. He takes a 1-pin lead.
The Pro Tour. A lot of great players out here, a lot of champions, but if you want to make a living, you got to be able to perform in the 10th frame. Dennis Horan controls his own destiny. He can shut out CK Moore if he takes it off the sheet.
Really coming alive here. It's really stroking it, Bo.
You're right, Chris. And he was so disciplined with that shot. We had that little box of Parker Bohn, how he kept his head so steady and no vertical movement. Dennis Horan did that on that shot. The tendency under pressure is to pull up. Horan stayed down and threw his best shot of the match. Site, he contemplates. Will I have a chance?
Seventh in.
And CK Moore will have a chance. Right now, it's imperative that Dennis Horan make this spare. If he makes this spare, he forces CK, who's looking at the scoreboard, to strike twice. If he misses this spare, CK would only need strike and a 9 count for a tie. That single pin could be the difference. He's got it.
A 204.
There's no gray area here in the 10th frame. CK Moore must strike on the next 2 balls to win. Anything less, he loses.
Pressure.
Dennis Horan knows who the winner is. He jumped straight out of his sheet.
Well, a 6-pin. So, CK will cover it. And we'll be back.
When people hear the Hendrick Motorsports team switch to Quaker State this year, they'll probably think Quaker State wrote us a big check. Well, that's not how it happened. First, it had to pass our camshaft test. Then it had to pass our dyno test. Then it had to pass a track test. Then they wrote us the big check.
Quaker State exceeds the highest standards for engine protection.
Test. Testing for you now.
very white. Checking for love. The Love King. Can't get enough of your love, babe. I love you, man.
I love your style.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. Make it a Bud Light.
I had it right in my hand. You saw it.
What did you eat this weekend?
A couple of burgers Friday night.
A couple of donuts.
2 tacos.
Barbecue ribs. Chocolate cheesecake Saturday night.
Some pancakes for Brian. Sure. Gee, that's funny. I should have exploded about an hour ago.
If you kind of ate your way through the weekend, start turning things around tomorrow with Kellogg's Special K cereal. Just 110 calories, not a speck of fat. Get those delicious, lightly toasted Special K flakes. Let your taste buds continue to enjoy. Start taking off what you took on this weekend. Make Monday Special K Day.
Comfort Inns and Suites have asked me to tell you about the deluxe continental breakfast. They flatter me by suggesting I can make it sound memorable just by saying deluxe continental breakfast. But of course, it's the juice, coffee, cereal, and Danish that make it sound so appealing. And the part that sounds best is it's free. Deluxe continental breakfast. Oh, I'm so good.
And now a second left-hander has won a championship on our telecast. Last week, Mike Albee. This week, Dennis Horan shooting a 204 to exciting C.K. Moore's 193. Ken West, the tournament chairman, is next to Dennis, and he has the check, and the trophy is held by Red Burnham, who is the general manager here at Bradley Bowl. Next week, of course, we'll be out in the Midwest, Toledo, for another edition of the PBA National Championship. The finals will be arena bowling. The arena being Savage Hall at the University of Toledo. 2 weeks from today, we'll be in Detroit for another arena event. And what a beautiful trophy that Dennis and his wife Terry and their new baby can enjoy, along with a check of $19,000. Dennis Horan defeating C.K. Moore 204 to 193 here on a beautiful day in the Connecticut River Valley. See you next week for Bo Burton.